this morning?
Let's see, ups and downs a little bit. Certainly, we dropped 3 matches, so we don't want to drop 3 matches. I think we had some guys that probably came here for the first time and felt what that's really like. Some of them maybe kind of had to suck it up and win closer matches than we'd like, and some of them things didn't go their way. So from those guys' perspective, we got to do a good job of getting their minds reset and kind of just saying, hey man, brand new tournament, and let's get to work on the backside.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on the first time? But you did have a couple of guys like Frost, his first time, had success.
Yeah.
Talk to me when these guys face this tournament for the first time.
I think it's just a mix of everything. It's a mix of the emotions, the jitters, just the moment. I think it's obviously you've got your weight cut, you've got all that other stuff, but when you pile that in on top of it, and then the other thing that happens is the guy that you wrestle, regardless of what his seed is, he shows up. He shows up and he's ready to go. It's not just a regular, it means a lot to him, so they're going to fight for everything. So certainly that's what I mean when I say it's your first time. It's having that understanding of like, hey man, this isn't just business as usual. Like you got to be really, really ready, really, really ready for everything. And like I said, some of us, we kind of took it on the chin, and like Frost is an example of one that was like, all right, well, you had to suck it up and get through that one. Now we're better and let's move forward.
On the flip side of that, your veterans kind of came through big time with some bonus points.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about pins from Feldkamp and Younger.
Yeah, huge. You get an opportunity for bonus points and you go get them. Anthony did as well, right? Tech fall. So really good. Casey, I'm thinking Casey's was really close, but that's again one of those things where it's the national tournament. Sometimes you get in a close match and you got to win the ugly ones, and that's all right. He did a good job keeping his head and doing that. But yeah, bonus points are huge. We saw that last weekend at the Big 12 tournament, that was the difference maker for us. So, that's something that this team has talked about, and we continue to communicate to them, is when you get the opportunity to put a guy away, you put him away.
Guyton's known for those, getting guys on his back, but conversely, sometimes in getting positions where he gets on his back. I mean, obviously that's a strength of his, like getting people there, but how do you balance, making sure he doesn't get in those spots while also not limiting him and trying to,
it's tough. I think, it's one of them deals where you're like, man, you don't spot someone 11 points and it's a lot easier to win the match, But at the flip side, one little adjustment there, because it was his position that he started with, it's called a headlock, and he's got a pin, So, no, it's a fine line. It's a fine line of understanding, like, hey, man, you're go for it guy, go for it, and wrestle solid. So that was one of those positions where that guy was just really strong, and I think probably there we probably could have turned it up earlier, because once we started getting the leg attacks, we started having success with it, even though we were down 11-0. So, but he did a great job. That's a hole that he finds himself in sometimes. So he's gonna have to navigate that and find that sweet spot for him where it's like, man, when you get the opportunity, you go and take that thing and you get it, and then if it gets sideways, don't sell out on it, let's bail, instead of, probably there's a point where you maybe hold on to it too long. I don't know.